But men who haven't learned to contain and control that lust and aren't living for a higher purpose end up embracing it. And what's happened is that in embracing it, many men feel deep shame. And so the world has said, the cure to this is to get away from the shame, not to get away from the thing that's causing the shame in the first place. It's a completely wrong message. What happens to men when they're addicted to pornography? Well, first of all, to call it a victimless crime is just foolish. We know that because of the sex trade today, of sex slavery. We know that it's not victimless at all. We also know that even if that weren't the case, if everyone participating in this horrific industry were doing so completely of their own wills, they weren't coming from broken backgrounds and broken families, it's destroying their souls. And that industry wouldn't exist if men weren't feeding into it in the first place. If there was nobody to watch pornographic videos, new pornographic videos would never be made in the first place. So to call it a victimless crime is really disingenuous. It's not true. It's harming your soul. It's harming the souls of those who are participating in creating these materials, and it's harming the souls of those who are other people who are watching it, because we as a society have decided to do away with this idea that there's anything wrong with it. If you're watching it, if you're viewing it, if you're participating in this, you're part of that issue. So that's where I'd start with that. Now, why is it such a problem? Because when men succumb to their passions and let their passions lead them, they become weaker and they don't feel like real men. And then men look for other outlets. They either look for more comfort, which means more pornography, or they go to this false masculinity that we talked about, where they try to become more aggressive, more alpha male in ways that are really not very healthy. And so we become less of a man when we do this. You know, man properly ordered has God, who's calling us to a certain life. It has the soul, which is seeking to follow God as much as possible, in the most pure way possible, and then it has the body, which is there to serve the soul. What we've done is we've completely flipped this on its head, and we say the desires of the body come first. The soul is there to serve the body, and God is there if he's even there at all. We just ignore him. This is extremely dangerous for men. You can't build a society that way. You certainly can't have a functioning, healthy family in that way. And I'm convinced as men, we don't really feel like men in that way. We feel disordered. And if you've convinced yourself that you don't feel disordered, if you really take a look at yourself, if you really examine it, you're going to realize there is something there that's wrong, and you're going to want out of that. So pornography, I think, is hugely destructive. It's hugely destructive, but because it's so darn available, there's never been a situation in the history of mankind where you can pull a phone out of your pocket and then look up any depraved thing you can think of. It's so available. So we need to start working on it, and we need to start taking it much more seriously. And I think as a society, we need to reattach the stigma to pornography and the pornographic industry that was once there. So this past month, I finished the initial draft of a book that so far I'm entitling Conquering Lust and Shame. I'm not sure about the title because, as the book explains, we don't really want to conquer shame, we want to sanctify shame. Shame was given to us by God, it's a gift, but shame has been so twisted by the devil. And so I finished the initial draft. I'm going to have 4 or 5 priests take a look at it and give me their suggestions. I don't know how long it'll take for them to get me their suggestions, then find a publisher, but I'm hoping that sometime this year this book will be published. The book really goes through various strategies for how to conquer lust, mainly for men. Women can read it, but it's really aimed mainly at men. And there are 3 themes that I have go throughout this book that are constantly brought back in everything that I suggest, all the strategies that I suggest. The first is what we just talked about, and that's that the devil really doesn't care so much about making men fall into lust. And that may be kind of a surprising statement to a lot of people, but if you fall into lust, there's always repentance. Christ gave us the gift of repentance, and so we can live out our repentance more fully. The demon knows that. So the demons, what they really want is not to make men fall into lust, but to fall into despair. And that's the shame that we want to conquer. They want to make us fall into despair so that we stop seeking Christ altogether. We really want to avoid that. Number 2, we need to understand that Christ could take lust away from a man like that. But the reason he doesn't is the same as with all the passions, is because the struggle is our salvation. And actually learning to properly battle against lust, men will learn the spiritual life. They'll learn how to pray in a way that they never would have otherwise. They'll learn how to fast. They'll learn how to do prostrations, how to read the scriptures. They're going to learn to become better, more fulfilled men because of this struggle. And so this struggle will become a teacher. There's a quote that I want to add to the book. I haven't put it in there because I haven't found the proper source yet, but it comes from St. Ambrose of Optina. And St. Ambrose of Optina was asked, how did you learn to be such a master of the Jesus prayer? Who taught you? Was it the elder before you, St. Leonid of Optina? He goes, no, it wasn't him. Was it this elder Hilarion? No, it wasn't him either. Well, then who taught you? And he said, I had the best teacher in the world, the devil. The devil taught me to pray, because every time he attacked, I went and prayed more, and that's where I learned how to pray. So if we really understand this battle properly, it will teach us the spiritual life. And number 3, and this is so important, we will never succeed in this fight against lust if men fight against lust and against the demon of lust. In doing so, all you do is get into a conversation with him, and guess what? He is much smarter, much more experienced than you in the fight. He's going to make you fall. What you have to do is want something more than you want lust. You have to fight for a purity that you want more. You have to fight for Christ. You have to fight for the spiritual life. You have to fight for all these things, for your family. You have to find the things that you're fighting for more than you're fighting against lust. And if those become a greater motivator for you, if you learn these spiritual tactics that I recommend in the book, and you're fighting for those things and learning them, and you refuse the devil despair, then you'll have victory in this eventually. And I've seen men conquer this. It takes time, but that time really does teach them the spiritual life, and they become better Christians and better men.